Hi, my name is Christina Rowe, and I help business owners and entrepreneurs create a unique brand and strong online presence, leverage social media to create legions of fans, utilize creative out-of-the-box marketing strategies and techniques, and use PR to attract media attention. I position my clients to be the expert and authority in their niche so that they effortlessly attract new clients and business. Today, on this episode of the Standout Online Show, we're going to talk about Google Plus Hangouts on Air and how to broadcast your very own Hangout on Air show. You will discover what you need to get started, how to set up your first show, and how having a show on Google Plus can be a great lead generator for your business. So let's get started. Let's begin with going over the tools and equipment you will need to produce a great glitch-free Hangout on Air show. There are many great uses for Hangouts on Air: meetings, webinars, masterminds, Q&A panels, networking, and more. But we're going to focus today on setting up your very own show. Why? Because starring in your own very own Hangout on Air show is a great way to build instant credibility, increase your authority, and have people perceive you as the expert in your field. With your own show, you will become internet famous. So let's go over some of the equipment that you're going to need. For the highest quality video and clear audio, use a high bandwidth wired connection and earbuds to reduce feedback. Ask your guests to use earbuds as well. Now, the type of cable you're going to want to use is an Ethernet cable, and this connects directly from your computer or your laptop to your cable modem. Now, if your modem, like in my own house, is far away from your computer, you can buy it in various lengths. Like I actually have a 300-foot Ethernet cable, even though I didn't need to have one that long because my computer's upstairs, and on the second level and on the bottom level of my house is the cable modem. So they sell them in 50 feet, 100 feet, various lengths. So if you do need to wire it throughout the house, you can do that, and it's portable and you can take it in and out. And this will ensure that you have a great internet connection for your entire show. For the earbuds, you don't need to buy anything expensive. You can use the ones that come with your iPhone. Those are actually pretty good because they hide underneath your hair. Or you can use a traditional headset. Logitech makes a couple of great ones. So you don't really need to spend a lot of money, but earbuds are really important so you avoid the feedback. Now we're on the subject of earbuds and equipment. Let's talk a little bit about microphones. Now most of you have a computer that comes in with a built-in microphone, but you can also purchase an external microphone like a Blue Snowball or an ART2100. And these will plug right into your computer and they will help with the quality of the sound. Make sure when you do broadcast, you do it in a quiet room. And of course, use those earbuds. And make sure that your computer and audio settings and your Hangout settings are set to the mic of your choice. And this is important to do to make sure that you do have, if you want to record with an external microphone, that you check the settings and make sure that's the actual microphone you're using. Another thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use the Google Chrome browser only. Do not use Internet Explorer or Firefox. Make sure that you have the Chrome browser installed on your computer. You can also purchase an external webcam, even though most computers today do come with a built-in webcam, and that's fine to use. If you want to have a higher quality audio, you can use something like the Logitech C920 in HD. It gives a very high quality. Another thing, what's great about it is, say you want to not sit in front of your computer to do your show, you want to sit on a couch or another location in your house, you can get a tripod, and this Logitech external webcam will connect to that tripod. And so you can, move your show around and have a different sort of setting for it. But it's not necessary. As long as you have a webcam built into your computer, you'll be fine. Something that's really important, though, when you're doing your own Google Hangout on Air show is lighting. And you really do want to flood your room with light. But something to remember is you never want to light from in back of you. Always light from either in front or the sides of you. When you light from in back, it does not come out looking very well on film. You see a lot of people who do Google Hangouts, the rooms are very dark. So you want to make sure that you do have good lighting, and you can purchase professional lighting very inexpensively. I got a set on Amazon.com for about $30 or $40 with 3 different lights with the white umbrellas, the professional photography type set. So, and it was really inexpensive. So I use that when I have, when I'm not using natural lighting. If it's a show that I'm doing at night, it works out really well. Also be careful in your room if you have, floodlights in the ceiling or any fluorescent type lighting. That can really throw off the color in the room. So you want to make sure that, you're really paying attention to the lighting and making sure that it looks great. Another tip that you can use when doing a Google Hangout is to use a teleprompter. And you can make one very inexpensively if you have an iPad or if you have a tablet. You can go to the App Store and download Teleprompter Pro Lite, which is the free version I use for the iPad. And you can put your script of what you want to say into the teleprompter and then position your iPad where you can see it while you're doing your show. So that's a little handy tool to use if you're going to do an introduction or if you have a guest coming on the show and you want to read their bio. That really comes in handy. Another thing you want to consider is your background. When you're doing a Google Plus Hangout on Air show, if you're doing it at home, and say you're in your bedroom or your office and there's a mess behind you, it's not something you really want your audience to see. So you can go out and get yourself a background. Now, there's a couple of different options. You can use a wood screen, folding screen. You could also use a professional backdrop. They sell them. Again, Amazon has them. You can just Google, photography backdrops, and you can use either the portable type of nylon ones that pop up behind you, or you can buy the frame backdrop and then put the paper in back of that, and they have all different kinds of paper that you can use. Or you can do what I do. I actually have the backdrop, and I actually use red velvet curtains. So you can do that as well. And if you're up against, let's say, a white wall, and you want to use a curtain, you can actually put the curtain rod, install it, and then just put the curtains right onto the wall without having to buy the actual backdrop frame. So you can be creative, and there's a lot of different options, but it does make your show look more professional. Another thing you're going to want to make sure that you do is shut down all browsers and restart your computer before your Hangout, and have only the Chrome browser open during your show. You also want to make sure no other programs are running on your computer either. So let's go ahead and schedule your first show. Now, of course, you want to make sure that you do have a Google Plus account that is connected to your YouTube channel. This is very important. Obviously, you have to have a Google Plus account in order to do a Google Plus Hangout. So make sure that you set up your account and that you've connected your YouTube channel to your account. And you're just going to follow a few quick steps here. It's really pretty easy. You go to your Google Plus login homepage. You're going to look toward the left. You're going to click on that home button on the upper left side, and you'll see a scroll down menu, and you're going to click on Hangouts. And then you're going to choose, when the page pops up, you're going to choose Hangouts on Air. And you'll see a screen. It'll say Live Hangouts on Air. Then it'll say Learn More, Start a Hangout on Air in blue with a big blue button. That's what you want to click on. So you click on that button. And after you do that, another screen's going to pop up, and it's going to say Hangout on Air. And it's going to ask you to give it a name and tell people what it's about. This is a great place to use some keywords so that you can get indexed and get some SEO action coming to your Hangout, because we know that Google Plus loves to rank Hangouts and Google Plus posts. So make sure that you do a little research and have a really great title that attracts people, and also throw in a couple of keywords. And then you click on the start button, and you can choose either now or later. So say your show is going to be, in a week from now. You click on the later button and you choose your date and your time. The next thing it's going to ask you is to choose your audience. Now, this is a little tricky. You're going to want to just have the button that says public. I've tried before where it says your circles, extended circles, and I have to X those out because it says you're not allowed to invite that many people. So I just set it for public. And then you're going to click share. And the next screen it's going to bring you to is going to be the actual event page for the Hangout. And it's going to have the title of your Hangout. you're going to have the option to do a trailer, a video trailer, and it'll have a countdown. So you can upload a little video promoting your show, or you can just put an image there. You're also going to want to do a custom header for your show as well. And this is a place where you're going to invite other people on Google Plus to this Hangout. And you'll see the invite button, and you can just invite people in your circles to join your Hangout. But we want to do something that will make it even easier for people, because a lot of people are confused about Google Plus. And a lot of people that you want to invite may not even be on Google Plus. And then when you send them an invitation, they may not know how to get to the show and access it. So a better option to do is, once you've set this up, is to create your own web page and turn your show into a lead generator. So what you want to do is set up your very own web page for your show. And you're going to take the code from that event page over on Google Plus. They'll give you a code, and you're going to embed the code into your own web page, and also add an opt-in box for attendees to register for the show. And you want to send all of your traffic to this page to register and view the show. This way you can capture their names and email addresses. You can remind them of the show, and you're building your audience, and you're actually building your list by doing this. And it's not that difficult to set up. If you already have a website, you can add a page onto the website. If you don't have a website, there's other ways that you can do a page like this, sort of like a landing page. You can use WordPress. You can actually use a plugin called Hangout, the Hangouts plugin. There's another thing called Webinar Jam that can help you out with this too if you're not technically savvy. But it's really great to have a lead generation system set up to make people register for your show. And this way you can start building that database and get those leads. Here's a few more tips that you're going to want to know about. One of the things you're really going to want to do when you start, and we spoke about this before, is test your video and audio settings. So when you actually start the Google Hangout on Air, you're going to click the small gear icon in the right-hand corner to test your video and audio settings prior to starting your broadcast. This way you can actually test to make sure that your audio is working and that it's on and ready to go. Another thing you can add, which is really cool, is a lower third. And you've seen these, on CNN, on the news channels. Those are those little graphics on the bottom when someone's speaking and it has their name. You can have one for your show, which is really terrific. All you have to do is download the free Toolbox app from Google Chrome. And then you're going to turn on the lower third app and make sure the text and branding is correct. You could also upload your very own custom overlay. If you have a graphic designer make one for you that's customized, you can upload that as well. A couple of other things that are really important, and this one is a biggie. Remember to look at the webcam and not your guests on the screen or the screen itself. What will happen is, especially if you're interviewing somebody, it's natural for us to want to make eye contact with that person. And you'll be looking directly at the screen, and you'll be thinking that you're looking at them, but what is really happening is you're really looking down. That's how everybody's viewing you. So make sure to keep your eyes, and it's going to feel unnatural at first, like you're staring into the webcam while you're speaking to somebody, because you can see that person. If you're doing a show solo and there's no other guests, it's much easier to do. But, you're going to have to train yourself a little bit to keep your eyes on the webcam so it looks like you're speaking to the audience and not that you're looking down. Another thing to remember when you do have a guest, many people, when they invite a guest to appear onto the show, it creates a lot of confusion. A lot of times people don't know how to get onto the show. The best way to do this is send an email to the guest or guests. You could have up to 9 other people that you want to appear on your Hangout on Air show, with the long URL that's located above your Hangout in the browser bar before you hit broadcast. So when you go to set up your show and you're all ready to go, there's going to be a box that's going to pop up and say invite guests. And you could certainly invite your guests by clicking on their Google Plus names, and it will put on their home pages of Google Plus, it will say you're invited. It'll alert them to join the Hangout on Air. But a lot of times people will have trouble with that. They'll miss it. They won't be on Google Plus, or they're just really confused about Google Plus. So a way to ensure that your guest is going to make it to your Hangout is to grab that long URL and also stick that in an email to them when the Hangout's about to start. Another thing is you're going to make sure you and your on-air guests have downloaded the Google Plus Hangouts on-air plugin. And you don't really have to worry about this because you're going to be prompted to do so when starting or joining a Hangout on air. You'll see a big box pop up and it's going to say install the plugin now, the app plugin, and you can't miss it. So it's going to do the same thing for your guests. So that'll enable you to use the Google Hangouts on air on your computer and in your Google Plus account. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Standout Online Show. Make sure to subscribe to the Standout Online Show with Christina Rowe podcast on iTunes to get the latest episodes so you can become internet famous and a celebrity in your field.